Hi everybody, it's Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. It's December 22nd, 2023, early in the morning. Actually, just about half an hour ago, my roosters started crowing at 1 o'clock in the morning, which usually means that they're being harassed. But I hope everybody's doing well, and welcome newcomers and welcome back to my channel. Please remember to hit the thumbs up. Helps the channel grow, get the message out there. This morning I received some news that the ABC Action News Chopper 6 crashed in New Jersey. And it was flying with a reporter. Flew from Philadelphia. They're mourning the loss of 2 members of the chopper that tragically crashed Tuesday in Burlington County, New Jersey. It was a pilot and a photographer. They were in the helicopter and they went down in Washington Township, New Jersey, just after 8 p.m. They were returning from an assignment at the Jersey Shore. The pilot was 67 years old. His name is Monroe Smith of Glenside, Pennsylvania. Photographer was 45-year-old Christopher Dougherty of Orland, Pennsylvania. So they have a very long history with their radio station. And what do you think happens? They were doing a story. They're flying back. They're almost home. They're almost back home. And then it suddenly crashes. So they're saying that the chopper took off from northeast Philadelphia before 7:30 p.m. and the crew flew back to an assignment near Galloway Township, New Jersey. And the crew was on their way back to base when the aircraft just suddenly crashed. The flight tracker data shows the helicopter's altitude dropping while returning to Philadelphia. And the Chopper 6 was last airborne over Wharton State Forest before it crashed in a remote section of the woods. Well, I don't have an update on this. It's the ABC Action News Chopper 6 crash in New Jersey. I mean, this is horrible. They were doing a story. I wonder what the story was about. I wonder why it would suddenly crash down in the middle of a forest. Oh, I don't know. I live in the middle of a forest. I can't imagine how that could happen. There are definitely microwave radio frequencies running through forests. But this is very sad. Right before Christmas, for these 2 people to crash, they don't have an update on why the plane crashed. Okay, it's just suddenly descending. Okay, but why? And why did it crash? Is this a sabotage? So they're going to give an update on the crash investigation. They're expected to be on scene for roughly 3 days before the helicopter is taken to a secure facility for more in-depth evaluation. And during the on-scene phase of the investigation process, the NTSB does not determine or speculate about the cause of the accidents. Anything we go ahead and report is factual in nature, Gunther says. Gunther explained that after the team leaves the scene, in approximately 10 days, they will produce a preliminary report which will include the facts, conditions, and circumstances as they know them. And then roughly 18 months after the preliminary report is completed, the NTSB will produce what they call a quote-unquote factual report, which will be composed of documents that support the investigation, including photos, witness statements, and any types of tests or research that may have been done. And then another 30 to 60 days after that, the Safety Board, which is comprised of 5 members appointed by President Biden, will release a statement of probable cause. Oh, I can't wait. The important role of Chopper 6 at Action News The Chopper 6 and those who fly in it play an integral role in our news gathering operation, accessing areas that are difficult to reach by ground, giving us everything from weather and beauty shots, traffic backups, and important information about news of the day. The first helicopter to serve as Chopper 6 launched in February of 1980. It was the first TV news helicopter in Philadelphia. So this is what it looks like, folks. I'll show you. That is a very long length of time to hear back about an investigation. Those poor family members. 18 months after the preliminary report. Another 30 to 60 days after that. 10 days on the ground. Oh my goodness. But anyway. Do you have a fake smoke detector spying on you? One of our lovely subscribers sent me some information. And it's ironic that she said that they can put spy cameras in your smoke detectors. Well, when I moved to rural Kentucky, I remember lying in bed and seeing my smoke detector above, and it would be flashing at night in certain, like, integrals. Now, I've lived in houses with smoke detectors, and they don't flash all night long. So I actually covered it with aluminum foil. It just felt really bizarre. So when she said that there were fake smoke detectors spying, check out yours, guys. Do your smoke detectors flash all night long? Anyway, there is a new law that's starting in California where police are required to tell you why they pulled you over. Yeah, you know how they pull you over and say, oh, well, we're having an investigation. Oh, you look like somebody that we're investigating, or they don't tell you at all. Well, there is a new law requiring police to tell you why they pull you over. I heard that on Steve Leto's channel. And then we have here, let me get it. There's an article that I found. It's so interesting that, you know, you click on links that take you to another link, that take you to another link, and you watch a video, and then they've got a website, and you go to their website, and you find something of interest. Well, that's what happened here. I'm going to pull up this article. I'm having a lot of laptop difficulties. So this is a brief introduction to human predators from the book The Art of Urban Survival by Steffan Verstappen. I don't know how to... Verstappen. Verstappen. And it's got two masks. One is with a devil horn. And I can't even scroll. My laptop is so stuck. But how's everybody doing? It's Defense Against the Psychopath, a brief introduction to human predators. And we all know that many of the people that harass us and stalk us are psychopaths. At the very minimum, and we've got psychopaths running the country. So let me scroll up here. Increase this a little bit here. Surviving predators. Life is nothing but a competition to be on the criminal rather than the victim. Bertrand Russell. In the urban environment, criminals fulfill nature's role of predators. While the strategies of criminals may vary widely, there is an important distinction between two types of criminal, the psychopathic and the non-psychopathic. The non-psychopathic criminal is the type most familiar to the public. For these criminals, crime is a survival mechanism anthropologists call the cheating strategy. The cheating strategy simply refers to the advantage cheating provides in terms of survival. For example, a person may spend 8 hours a day working to earn a certain amount of money, but a thief could spend only a few minutes to gain what another spent 8 hours to acquire. Oh, well, goodness. It sounds like the targeted individual program. The thief's cheating strategy is cost effective and gains far exceed expenditures. However, man is a social animal, and cheaters are seldom tolerated in a reciprocal society wherein everyone works together for common benefits and equal share in the fruits of thereof. Society evolved the institution of revenge and punishment as a counter to the cheating strategy. While some question the effectiveness of punishment as deterrent, on a survival level, punishment factors into the cost-benefit analysis of those considering a cheating strategy. A thief who steals another's wages may be acting cost-effectively, but if the thief is subsequently caught and forced to serve 5 years in prison, he will find the costs now far exceed the benefits. Therefore, crime prevention requires that we make the costs of using a cheating strategy greater than the benefits by forcing criminals to work harder and increasing their chances of being caught. Makes sense to me. The cheating strategy is often used when people are at a disadvantage. Poverty, low intelligence, poor education are the root causes of much criminal behavior. Most crime and safety and defense literature focuses on this type of criminal activity: defense against a mugger, preventing theft, home defense, and so forth. This type of crime is logical. One person has something, another does not, and so the latter cheats to acquire it. While you cannot condone the methods employed, you can understand the motivation for the actions. Another type of criminal behavior committed by non-psychopaths are crimes of passion. These acts of violence stem from emotional turmoil and our primitive instincts. Many otherwise average people are capable of committing assault, rape, murder for the heat of passion, especially if fueled by drugs and alcohol. While the acts they commit are pathological, they are not themselves necessarily psychopaths. However, when it comes to the second type of criminal, the underlying motivations become surreal. While psychopaths will certainly use the cheating strategy, it is seldom necessary to their survival. A millionaire psychopath would readily rob a starving child. Obviously, the millionaire's survival is not at stake. There's no obvious logic to what motives could underlie such behavior. Psychopaths often elude justice for this very reason. In criminal trials, the prosecution is required to ascribe a motive to the defendant. However, in the case of psychopaths, their motives are so bizarre and alien that even if a prosecutor could explain it, most jurors would not believe it. This is what happens with targeted people, folks. The little things that they do to us, the psychopathic things like pulling the strings out of your drawstring, pajamas and hoodies, etc., poisoning your food, puncturing holes in the back of your clothing, poisoning your cats. A psychopath can both assault, rape, and murder, but it is seldom a crime of passion. It is instead a cold and calculated plan to gain what the psychopath wants. Of all the criminal types that inhabit society, the psychopath is by far the most destructive, the most successful, and the least understood. And for these reasons, any self-defense program must begin with a study of the most dangerous predator on the planet, which is the psychopath. Oh, And you know who the real enemy of the state is? Corrupt officials and sheeple people. Yeah. Hint, hint. Those are the real enemy of the state. And you know what? They are comprised of psychopaths. The lunatics are running the asylum. The urge to save humanity is almost always a false face for the urge to rule it. That is a quote by H.L. Mencken. Psychopathy infects the full spectrum of humanity, irrespective of race, culture, geography, economic class, or personality type. It is described in a population in a similar way that left-handedness is. One would not notice a person is left-handed until you see him write or catch a ball. Similarly, one may not notice a psychopath until you see him do something that requires them to have a conscience. You hear that, folks? They don't have a conscience. The community-based agents, the fusion center operatives, some agents at my favorite Bureau of Investigation, they have no conscience. They're psychopaths. They're the ones that are creating the programs to torture people. Do you think they have a conscience? Do you think they care? Most people think of a psychopath as a rare creature found only in the lowest levels of society. However, the reverse is true. They're not rare, but actually they're quite common, and you are more likely to find psychopaths in the boardroom than on the wrong side of the tracks. The reason is that the more competitive a particular environment is, the more ruthless the use of cheating strategy becomes. Oh, we got lots of cheaters around here. I bet you've got cheaters around where you are too. Within the highest circles of power and wealth, a lack of pity and remorse is practically a prerequisite to success, and only the psychopathic mentality can thrive. Because of the tremendous destruction psychopaths reap on society, it is vital for everyone to be aware of their existence and to recognize their behavior traits. Understanding them is the first step to defending oneself against them. The key characteristics are a lack of empathy. Empathy is the ability to experience within oneself the feelings and emotions expressed by others. It is what allows us to feel what others are feeling. It is why we are inspired by works of art, music, and poetry. Empathy allows us to experience the grandeur of life, to be truly alive, and is one of the defining characteristics of what makes us human. Oh, well, you know that creature, Noah Harari, on the World Economic Forum? He says, oh, no, there's none of that. We're not going to be human anymore. We are now an animal to be hacked. We are hackable creatures. That is a psychopath. Make no mistake. Psychopaths have no empathy, and as a result, they are neither truly human nor truly alive. When they see normals admiring a piece of art or playing with their children or caring for a pet or any number of human emotional interactions, they can't understand what all the fuss is about. Psychopaths realize at an early age that they are different and they should act as everyone else does in order to be accepted into society. They learn to mimic. You hear that? Mimic what they see others do, but they can never understand why they should act this way. Mimic, the copycat. Mimicry, it's a form of what, folks? That's what these criminals do. They mimic. They copycat. They mirror. Although they are consummate actors, careful observation will reveal telltale cracks in their facade. They know enough to fake concern when someone is sick or to pretend happiness when some good fortune befalls a friend. But in situations where the psychopath has no pre-rehearsed act, their ad lib often reveals a stunning lack of empathy. For example, if attending a funeral, a psychopath would correctly mimic the same expressions of sadness of the other mourners, but then makes sexual advances towards grieving widows, clueless to the gross inappropriateness of such an action. Oh yeah, I saw a film like that. People with empathy would instinctively understand that such behavior is inappropriate. However, the psychopath cannot. Number 2, the lack of remorse. Remorse is an emotional expression of personal regret felt by a person after he or she has committed an act which they deem to be shameful, hurtful, or violent. This very definition precludes a psychopath from experiencing such a family. With no empathy, there can be no emotional expression, nor can a psychopath feel shame or comprehend that anything they do can be hurtful to others. Psychopaths understand when people are angry with them for their behavior, and as a last resort, they may pretend that they're sorry, but unlike most people, they are not the least bit disturbed by the feelings of guilt. Remorse is a powerful negative emotion that causes turmoil in those that feel it. Turmoil that often results in self-destructive or self-deprecating behaviors. The psychopath may pretend remorse, but their real behavior has not changed. They still go shopping, they still go to parties, they have no problem sleeping at night. Superficiality. Passion drives someone to go further than needed to explore, learn, and master a subject. Most people enjoy listening to music, but it is someone passionate about music that goes on to learn how to play an instrument. Similarly, many people are interested in new technology, but only a passionate person goes on to be an engineer. Lacking passion for anything other than themselves, psychopaths can never penetrate beyond the surface of most knowledge. As a result, they exhibit a superficial comprehension of some or many subjects, but are often seen by true experts as being